to show you a picture. It's so cute. I saw baby chickies this weekend. Look at this. Look at that cute little chickie. But look at that. That's cute, right? That's cute.
Bring the beat in. Honey, honey, I can see.
I feel like you can find some sort of connection or interest online, but the whole point in, like, especially a romantic relationship, I feel like, is to share your life with somebody, whether it's something a little more casual or something very serious. So you need to be able to see that person at least in some regular format. It doesn't necessarily have to be every day, but I do think that real love is only attainable in person.
If you question the power of online dating, think about this. Those relationships now lead to 1/3 of all marriages. There are now 1,500 dating sites, but the one with a lot of buzz isn't really even a web page. It's a matchmaking app called Tinder.
I think dating apps are definitely common. Just even when I went on, I found probably like between 5 and 10 guys that I knew, like as friends, either at this school or like from home. I think a lot of people are ashamed to admit that they use them, which I think is kind of dumb. But they're definitely common. It's just a matter of whether people will actually fess up to it or not.
My parents in the beginning, it wasn't necessarily that they were angry, but they kind of gave me a lot of crap for it. Like, they were like, oh, like, you're not cool enough to find, you know, someone in real life. Like, they kind of made fun of me for it and, like, joked with me about it in the beginning. But later on, I guess they realized that I took precaution using this application.
My best friend, she actually is recently newly single, and she knew that I had been using Tinder, so she decided that she was going to make one. And she was sleeping over my house that night, and I barely even spoke to the girl because her face was in her phone. She was having so much fun with it. Like, all these cute guys were talking to her, and it was like a self-esteem booster for her too. And I think it is for a lot of people, especially Tinder, because it's based, you know, the initial attraction is solely on your physical appearance.
That day, and he said, hey, I'm waiting outside, should I wait for you somewhere? And he just went into a Pathmark to wait for me, and we finally met up. Gave him a hug, like, oh, nice to finally meet you, stuff like that. And the whole time, even though he didn't give me any like weird vibes, I was still worried. I was like, you never know, this, okay, like, he's the person, he looks the same in person like he does on Facebook, you know, stuff like that, you know, comparing, okay, he's the same, you know, on video chat than as he is in person. That's good. But I was still really worried. And then it was funny because he even made jokes. We were about to take the subway, and he was making jokes like, oh, what if I threw you in the train tracks right now? So I was worried. I was like, oh my God, this guy's crazy. I knew he was joking, but at the same time, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be one of those girls that gets murdered from like an online dating website, like Catfish or something.
Well, when I first saw James's picture, he had a picture of him playing the double bass. And I'm a musician too, so I thought that was cool at first. So I clicked, and I looked through the rest of his pictures, and he didn't have a lot of like really good pictures, but I could tell he was pretty cute. He had curly brown hair and green eyes, so I was like, okay. And he lived pretty close to me, so I swiped right, and we matched. And then once we started talking, I could tell that he was really intelligent, and he actually brought up like using Tinder, and he told me that it was a social experiment for him. I don't necessarily think that connections can be made solely from talking, via online mediums, but once you meet once you talk to the person and then meet them in the flesh, I think you can definitely have a connection with them.
I think it's a good thing, and I think it's a good tool as long as you use it with precaution. I think it could also be something very dangerous if you're not smart about it, if you give people your personal information right away. But I also think that if you ask the right questions with people, not only could you end up with a romantic relationship, but you could even end up with a friendship.
His hometown is 20 minutes from Rutgers, and mine is 20 minutes from Lehigh. So, like, when he comes home for spring break, he'll come visit me, and when I go home for things, I'll go visit him. So it kind of works in that way. I mean, I could definitely see us in a relationship, but he's studying abroad this summer, so I'm not gonna, get my hopes up or anything. I have no expectations, and I think that's the best way to be in these kind of situations, but yeah, we definitely share something kind of special.
There's never really been a dull moment. Now, just because there hasn't been a dull moment doesn't mean that everything's been whoop-de-doo, but everything's always flowed, and it's still flowing.